Retail sales crashed nearly 18%. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here with my morning stein of coffee. And I thought we'd have a look at the latest data that just came out from the Australian Bureau of Statistics regarding retail turnover. And, well, they're not looking good. We're not panic buying toilet paper anymore, or generators and petrol. But they've taken a big hit, guys. This is not instilling me with any confidence in the retail industry, and not particularly surprising, because we're essentially under house arrest, or we have been for most of this period. And remember, everyone, retail is a huge employer here in Australia. Big part of our workforce is tied up in retail. So let's go through this media release first. The Australian retail turnover fell 17.9% in April 2020, seasonally adjusted, according to preliminary retail trade figures released today by the ABS. This is the strongest seasonally adjusted fall ever published from the Retail Trade Survey. The strongest ever seasonally adjusted fall, following the strongest ever seasonally adjusted rise in March 2020. So there you go. Our buying frenzy, people were stocking up, and they've probably got enough goods, and now they're saving. Turnover was down 9.4% compared to April 2019. These preliminary figures, which will be subject to revision, show falls in every industry, with particularly strong falls in food retailing, cafe, restaurants and takeaways, and clothing, footwear and personal accessories. The food retailing industry, which saw a strong rise in March due to unprecedented demand, fell 17.1% from March 2020. So I'd argue we could ignore that, honestly. That's an anomaly. An anomaly because everyone literally went out there and panic bought, stocked up. I even told Rachel, buy another half a beast. Additional analysis indicates that the majority of products which rose substantially in March recorded falls in April. However, they remained at higher levels than April 2020. Okay, so we've taken a hit, but people are still better or buying more than last year. Maybe they're still stocking up. While March saw a mix of impacts related to the pandemic across industries, these impacts were overwhelmingly negative in April, as regulations regarding social distancing measures limited the ability of businesses to trade as normal for the entire month. Cafes, restaurants, and takeaway food services, clothing, footwear, and personal accessory retailing and department stores fell heavily in April, and there were no offsetting rises in other industries. Turnover in clothing, footwear, and personal accessory retailing in cafes, restaurants, and takeaways is around half the level of April 2019. And in the comments yesterday, we had a viewer who has a restaurant over in WA, and she was saying that with the population caps that they have in their restaurants now, 20 people, if all of them come in and each person spends $30 a head, they've made a loss if they're booked out. And that's the thing. There's cost associated with these businesses that these rules don't appreciate. So let's jump here. Let's have a look at the data, and we'll look at the very scary chart. I'll move it over here. So we can see here the retail turnover current prices seasonally adjusted. So you can see the fall there of 17.9%. Look at that plunge on a monthly level. And through the year, on a monthly level, we're 17.9 on the year, about 9%. The seasonally adjusted estimate fell 17.9% from March to April. This result is the strongest adjusted month-to-month fall. Seasonally adjusted terms, Australian turnover fell 9.4% in April when compared to April 2019. You can see there. See that fall. Let's have a look at how the ABC is reporting on this retail crash. So, retail sales post record plunge in April as the pandemic buying subsides. Shoppers who spent March panic buying. Is it panic buying? I guess, well, I'd call it ill-prepared prepping. Ill-prepared prepping. Shoppers who spent March panic buying tin food, toilet paper and pasta shut their wallets in April, sending retail spending plunging last month. Preliminary figures from the Australian Bureau of Statistics showed a 17.9% drop in retail turnover, the steepest monthly fall on record. It is the realization of the payback economists have warned about, with the April fall more than double the record 8.8% climb in sales in March. The tsunami of weak economic news is well underway, EY Oceanic Chief Economist Joe Masters said. The outlook for retail spending remains challenging as consumers face higher household debt, weak wage growth, elevated job insecurity, and falling house prices. Having stocked up on products like toilet paper and pasta, with home offices and gyms now set up, spending in those sectors fell away. I mean, there's the thing. Now that people have their home offices, now that people have their home gyms, are they going to rush back to have their gym membership? I know one of my goals has been to increase my muscle density, my muscle strength. So I'm doing weights every day. I've set up my little home gym, so I've got my routine. I'll do my videos in the morning, then before I do my real work, I do my workout. And I tell you, it's much easier having it all set up here, than having to get in the car, go to the gym, do all the rigmarole, beep all the things, wipe down the all the pieces of equipment, wait for people to have your turn. I'm never going back, to be honest. I'll just buy more equipment. It's cheaper. It pays for itself. I wonder if that's going to make a change, and we'll see that in that industry. We're going to see it in commercial offices. I bet you we will. Westpac's senior economist, Matthew Hansen, described the figures as grim reading, with sales crushed by the abrupt end of stockpiling and pandemic trading restrictions and shutdowns. Every sector experienced a fall in sales, including food and groceries, which had seen unprecedented demand for non-perishable items such as flour, rice, pasta, and canned food during the previous months. After rising 39% in March, sales of non-perishable goods tumbled 23.7% in April, according to ABS analysis of supermarket scanner data. Cafes and clothing suffered, but online sales boomed. Yeah, we're seeing changes in consumer habits, everyone. Changes in consumer habits. If you're running a business and you can make 50% of your revenue online, then you don't need your premises. You don't need this. You don't need that. Cafes, restaurants, clothing, and footwear retailers continue to struggle with turnover in those sectors, falling to around half the level of April last year. Businesses reported that regulations regarding social distancing measures limited their ability to trade as normal for the entire month, the ABS said. Transaction data from the major banks showed a pickup in spending in May, and consumer confidence has recovered some ground, but economists do not see a fast recovery. Just remember that. We're starting to see more and more of people admitting that a potential V-shaped recovery is not looking possible. It's possible that there will be a bounce back in consumer spending as restrictions are eased, AMP Capital senior economist Deanne Mosina said. Activity indicators like credit card spending and mobility trackers are pointing to some recovery in activity, but the recovery remains shallow for now. Echoing reports from individual retailers and delivery services, including Australia Post, the ABS said online retail posted to a strong result and made up 10% of total retail sales in April, compared to around 7% in March. Our estimates suggest online retail sales jumped by over 20% in the month, with traditional in-store retail sales falling by around 20%, Westpac's Matthew Hassan said. Well, there you go, guys. There you go. So retail has taken a big hit in just the value. Month on month, it's fallen to record levels. I think we can ignore that blip in the food, but we can see that the pandemic restrictions are having an impact on retail. And remember, from the beginning of this year, we've been talking about one business after another closing, letting go of staff before any of this even happened. So it's definitely a sector to watch. It's definitely going to have impact on a lot of the real estate investment trusts, and it's going to have impacts on our employment figures. As always, guys, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you'd like to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel here on Patreon or YouTube. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint. You can support us by buying our merch or PayPal. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.